Neal, thanks very much for joining us. Technology and innovation have been highlighted by the disruption in the market from the health crisis. What are you seeing as the key themes at Yardi?
Yeah, first of all, Richard, thanks very much for having me on today. It's always a pleasure. I think one of the interesting things that COVID has really produced or has impacted and highlighted is the fact that many organizations are underinvested in technology and digitization today. And this has really been forced by the fact that all of a sudden operations have been thrown on its head, that individuals had to work from home. And so as organizations continue to need to service their prospects and their residents and their tenants, it was difficult to do so. And just there was a lot more friction in the overall process. And so what we've seen in terms of demand from clients and in certain sectors that certainly are doing better than others in terms of the adoption of technology includes multifamily, i.e. build to rent in a UK sense, as well as with student accommodation. And both of these sectors have really been at the forefront of digitizing the entire process by which, as a prospective resident or student, I can go online, I can search for a property, I can search for and view a unit. To a large degree, increasingly, the ability to look at virtual tours and using VR and other really neat components, all the way through to going through the actual choosing of a unit, choosing your amenities. Do I have a pet or not? Do I need an extra car spot or not? Through to signing a lease, making a payment, and obtaining a digital key so that I can move in. So that entire process is just so much more convenient for the resident, i.e. the overall experience, and much more analogous to how other industries, whether it's airlines and the travel and the hospitality industry, work today. But then likewise, in terms of it's much easier and more efficient for the owner or the operator of the properties to do so. And they receive so much more information, i.e. data, that they can then use moving forward to just either both improve and reduce their cost of operation, differentiate what they're doing from an operational point of view, and looking at those big data sets for future use of AI and machine learning.
Potentially, we're looking at a sort of economic downturn for certain from this period. Do you think there's going to be more of a focus on efficiency, I suppose, in terms of innovation and technology driving down cost?
I think it's a natural impact or reaction to any type of a economic event, and COVID certainly is perhaps more interesting and more impactful than the GFC or the global financial crisis was 10 years ago, because it's affected everyone. No one's really been immune to it. No industry has been immune to it. No part of the world or region has been immune to it, and it's not just about asset values. But I think organizations will be looking for more effective ways of creating demand, and that's in terms of how you market, how you drive inbound demand from your customers, how to reduce the cost of a transaction, and that's whether it's the cost of that marketing transaction, that cost to acquire a customer, i.e. a resident or a tenant, but then also in terms of how they can make their operations more effectively. So we certainly see the trend of increased inquiries and increased demand to move forward with technology enablers to improve processes that the real estate industry has.
And Neal, is this something that you think is global now in terms of innovation and technology, or are there still some differences between, let's say, Asia, the US, and Europe in terms of take-up and usage?
Yeah, I think that the overall percentage of adoption, so to say, is typically higher in homogeneous markets. And so North America would be an example, or certain other jurisdictions. I think what we see, though, is that increasingly real estate is both multi-sector. So it's not only just office, it's a combination of office, retail, residential, or some combination of that, or co-working as well, i.e. flexible space. And increasingly, the investors are across multiple different regions, i.e. geographies, countries. And so there's certainly a need to have systems that are, one, is fully connected. So rather than having just a number of different dispersed type of systems that are either sector specific or country specific, that leads to just a number of different efficiencies and challenges for organizations. So we certainly see the benefit and the drive for organizations to really standardize on one system that they can use across multiple different sectors and regions that help them make decisions faster and service their customers better.
Great. Always a pleasure to catch up. Thanks very much for joining us, Neal.
Thanks so much, Richard.